Hi, I'm Justin Scott with the Lowell Ledger here with Lowell Red Arrows Wrestling head coach RJ Boudro after a couple big wins last night. RJ, you went into Dundee last night. You came out with wins over nationally ranked Dundee and Davison. Tell us a little bit what that kind of means for the program and for the season.
Well, it was just a really good opportunity, the whole event. Thanks to Dundee, DCC, and Davison for being willing to, put all the records on the line and have the four top teams in the state, the way Michigan Grappler has it, in one gym for a great night of wrestling. And so we just went in there hoping to kind of battle. We pride ourselves on trying to wrestle the best. I feel like we've done that all season, and it kind of culminated last night, kind of the end of the regular season. We go to our conference next week. But it was just a great night, and we really weren't concerned about winning or losing the duels. We just wanted to wrestle hard. And I think as a consequence, we were able to win 2 duels against 2 amazing programs, 2 nationally ranked teams. Really exciting. And I'm just happy for our team, happy for our guys. It was a great moment, the way it all ended. And our guys all had smiles on their faces, no matter if they won or lost individual matches. We were all really happy.
How are the matchups decided? Like, you guys wrestled Davison and Dundee, but not Detroit Catholic Central. Is that because you've already wrestled Detroit Catholic Central this year? How did that work?
Yeah, it all kind of came together. DCC and Davison were supposed to wrestle. I think it was last week, and then that got canceled because of COVID. Then Davison didn't come to Gary Rivers because of some, some sickness. And then, so we were originally just supposed to wrestle Dundee and then DCC. Well, we ended up wrestling DCC a couple of weeks ago, and just it all kind of came together where all 4 teams hadn't wrestled each other yet, and we were all going to wrestle on this one night. Davison and Dundee had wrestled already, so it worked out perfect where everybody got 2 matches, and they're all wrestling unique competition where they haven't wrestled each other yet this year. And so we wrestled Dundee first, and Davison and DCC wrestled, and that went down to a 1-point duel, a crazy Davison DCC duel with Davison coming out on top over DCC. Another epic kind of battle, and then we took out Dundee, and then kind of went on to Davison and got the win there too. Just 2 unexpected kind of wins, and our guys just battled hard, and good things happened.
With COVID going on, how do you balance the lineups? I know there were a few missing guys from each team last night. Are you informed ahead of time, like, hey, these guys are going to be out for this team, or is it just kind of you find out right before the duel?
Yeah, so we weighed in at 3:30 at Dundee, and then we started our match at 5. And as we're kind of going into the weigh-ins, you're seeing who weighs in, and then you get your weigh-in, and we see who weighed in and who didn't. And that's the way it was. I think every team there had some guys out, and had some guys in some different weight classes trying to kind of jockey the lineup to beat the teams they came there to beat. And all in all, 4 teams had really good wrestlers there, and it was a really good event.
I know you can shuffle your lineup. There's a lot of guys that can go in the starting lineup, and how many guys would you say from like your strongest starting lineup were not in last night?
Probably 2 or 3, just depending on where we put them at the certain weights and stuff like that. So yeah, we had a few guys out, and I think every team could say the same.
Yeah, I saw, it's always unusual when, it comes down to the final duel, in a big match, Lowell versus Davison, and they have to forfeit their last match. So unfortunately.
Yeah, and that was really their decision. They had a guy at that weight class. They could have wrestled everybody, but they took a risk, I think, and bumped their 52-pounder to 60, thinking I think they thought that, coming out and getting a early lead would kind of put the duel away. But I think our guys were super resilient and fought all the way to the end, and it came down to the very last match for us to win. So it was pretty cool.
So in that Davison match, I remember Landon Miller. He had a big match toward the end and got the win. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think we were just talking about, trying to take risks and make sure we keep hustling and wrestling. And Landon, in our wrestling room, it's just phenomenal wrestler, pushes everybody, practices extremely hard, works extremely hard, and he lets it fly in the practice room. Sometimes he does it in matches, and he let it fly in that match, and got out to a nice lead against one of the top ranked wrestlers in the state of Division I. And was able to hold on to it. Both guys were exhausted. I think kind of the moment got to them a little bit, when it's on the line and you got to do it for your team. And, we're extremely exhausted, and Landon came out on top with a huge win over Cam Freeman at Davison. So that was a turning point in the duel too. And Tacho Gonzalez started that duel off at 160. He's a 45 pounder wrestling 160 for us. And he's been doing that all year for us. And the kid's a stud, never says a word about it. And just nods his head, goes out there, and he didn't give up the major against one of the top ranked wrestlers in Division I. And that kind of set the tone that for our team of just kind of fighting and scratching and clawing for every point that we could get. So I hats off to Tacho and that for kind of holding on to points. And then you got Landon Miller on the other side who's going out and getting points. So it was exciting, man. It was super fun.
You mentioned 3 other wrestlers that, kind of had big nights. I know Carter Blau, he knocked off the number 1 ranked wrestler in D1. Nate Cleaver kind of clinched the duel for you guys against Davison, and James Link as well. Kind of talk about their contributions last night.
Sure. Well, I mean, Carter Blau, Jimmy Colley is a nationally ranked wrestler for Davison, and Carter beat him in the first tournament of the year. And it's really difficult when you beat a guy like that, and now he gets to come back around and try to get his vengeance. And, there's a lot going on. We want to beat Davison in a big duel. He's wrestling a nationally ranked kid, a guy that he's already beat. He's got to beat him twice. And he did it. He wrestled. He stuck to his game plan. He's getting more organized as the year goes on. He's just getting more and more dangerous. And he's a leader on our team. And we needed a leader to step up, and he did last night. And it was just a very cool moment. It's very difficult to do. There's a lot of, mental toughness that goes into something like that, where, going into that match, there's a lot of nerves, there's a lot on the line. And he, took that all on, did it in front of his crowd, did it for his team. And that was a huge, huge match for us to be able to get that win. And do it the way he did. He had a big takedown in the third period, put him to his back, and almost got the fall. So it was pretty cool. And then, I said James Link for sure. I mean, he had 2 really big wins against 2 top ranked guys. And I think he was a number 2 ranked wrestler in Division I. And he had a dominating win. He got the takedowns when he needed to get them. I know the score looked like it was close, but James wrestled extremely well. Got the takedown when he needed to, and rode really good. Got away on bottom. He's just kind of coming into his own. And James Link is just, he is a leader on our team, a silent leader. He doesn't say much, but man, he works extremely hard, and he's wrestling really well, and he's put a ton of work in. So to see that paying off for him is really exciting for us and for him, and just kind of for Lowell Wrestling. He's one of those guys. We have a lot of these guys, but he's one of those guys that, has been on our wrestling program since he's a Mighty Arrow. And it's just a hard worker, a kid with a 3.9 something GPA, and a great kid. I'm just happy for him. And then, Nate Cleaver, same kind of thing. Same as James, as far as been in since the youth program. Had an opportunity last night. We wanted to put the senior out there in that moment, and he did it extremely well. He had a call not go his way in the match, and just kind of shook it off and stuck with all the work that he's been doing. And it was a great moment for Nate Cleaver. So and he's wrestling up a weight class most of the time too. So kind of taking one for the team. So it's just it's nice when guys do that and they put the team first. And it was just a great night for Lowell Wrestling.
You mentioned the Mighty Arrow program, and you've been around long enough that you've seen kids come through the Mighty Arrow program and then up through high school. What's that like, seeing kind of that evolution of just these little kids who are just learning to start to wrestle to being a senior and leading a high school team? Well,
it makes me feel old, because I asked it the other day. I've been coaching for 15 years at Lowell now, and there's kids on my team in high school that weren't born when I started coaching them. It's just a weird kind of thing for me to realize. But it's just awesome. It's why we do it. And I love the way that this program works, and it all comes together, and it just makes it feel worth it too. So it's a lot of hard work that goes into it. Our Mondays and Tuesdays right now are exhausting. We have practice, we have lifting early on Tuesdays, and then we have youth practice after those things. And Mighty Arrow night, our wrestlers are going to practice and then staying after and doing the youth practice, and it's exhausting. And these kids love it though. It's just that we all kind of give back to it, because we know that this program has gotten us to where we are right now. And It's just a cool thing. It's cool to watch, see. It's not something that, I created, but, I certainly am a part of it. And I love being a part of it with our other coaches. Our assistant coaches work extremely hard to do those types of things. Kyle Slocum, Josh Cooper have been with me since, since the beginning. So they've been here for 15 years as well. And you got my brother and Coach Pennock and Chris Ebram and, all the other new coaches that are in here, Coach Dennis and Coach Greenop. So like these guys are just doing so much work, and I'm probably leaving somebody off, but like there's just a lot of guys working and we're having lots of fun. So it's the coaches, but then that's why Muddy Arrows happens is things like that. We're at a B team tournament right now. I'm in the back room of Charlotte's kind of gymnasium right now, so I could do this call. And we're in the finals against Greenville. Our B team's 4-0, wrestling Greenville. Last I left, I think we were losing 18-12 with our B team. So
Nice.
it's just a lot of fun. But again, our coaches were at Dundee, woke up early in the morning, got the B team here, and it's nonstop, but we love it.
Nice. All right. Well, I'll let you get back to the match soon. One last question kind of before we leave.
Sure.
Max Dean kind of making some headlines with his dual clinching move at the end. Talk about that a little bit. Like, how cool is it to see one of your wrestlers on, one of the biggest stages in college wrestling?
Yeah, it was a cool moment for us. So we were driving back from Dundee, and guys got it on their phone and they're watching it. We just pulled in when Max's match was about to start. So we had all the guys huddled around one little phone watching, and it kind of didn't look good at first. He got a call that didn't go his way. He's losing, and it was awesome for our guys to watch and see. Like, Max never looked like he was shaken. It was a super bad call, I thought. At the very least, it's a 1-point escape or a reversal or maybe even near fall, and nothing. He gets 0 points. And, he goes down in the third, gets away, gets a takedown, puts the guy to his back, and you can hear the Iowa guy screaming and crying. You have a grown man with a full beard and a strong looking dude, and he's grunting and crying. And we loved every single second of it. It was cool to watch, cool to see. And Max Dean did not help my sleep last night. I was so jacked up from the night, and then Max winning the match the way he did was really cool. Just a good moment for our program again. So we're talking about Muddy Arrows, and then we got Max Dean wrestling, for Penn State in one of the biggest dual meets ever. So it's all happening at both ends, and it's pretty cool. I'm lucky to be a part of this program, and I feel like our kids understand that, and our parents understand that. We're all extremely grateful to be a part of it, and everybody's kind of get ready to get to work. But I think the big thing is we got to get back to work. It's a big night. Yeah, it's celebrated. Put this interview out, but that's it. After that Monday, we're getting back to work, and going to try to get better, because that's kind of what's got us here, and we're ready to kind of go back to that and see what we got to do for our conference tournament on Friday. We're excited about that, for the opportunity to try to compete for a conference championship in the OK White.
Absolutely, Coach. All right. Well, I appreciate your time. I'll let you get back to the duel. Hopefully you guys come out with a win.
All right. Thanks a lot, Justin. I appreciate it.
Yep. Have a good one.
All right, you too.